guys, this is Wenzes from Below the Radar Above the System, and now I want to talk to you about how to deal with people who have like negative feelings towards us and why do they have them, and all those fears that come with it and don't allow us to be who we want to be and so on. And there are a lot of parts to this, but mainly what I want to get into is that I believe that one of the main reasons why people get upset with us is because if you're being like everyday healer in a way, I'm not talking about going somewhere or doing like certain things. I'm just saying if you go through life being authentic and you feel that people are changing due to the fact that they're in your environment, then of course it's going to be uncomfortable because you force them to rethink their perception and rethink what they're going through, and these things will make you uncomfortable in the beginning. But there are two kinds of strategies we can use as being catalysts for this situation. The one thing that is a less healthier way, but which I have done so often, is be completely just an extension of other people's perception. Like I started talking about in the last video. I think this is the thing we do most when we're scared, when we're not knowing, like this is something we've learned as a child and so on. Don't make other people feel small. If they feel like a certain way, then you kind of like just become this cutout version of what they want you to be. And if you feel like they feel weak, then you make yourself small so they feel strong. But what we don't understand very often is that we're taking control of their life. We're not, like, in the end we cannot do that, and that's why there's always friction in this, because only that person can really do that. We try to become this extension of their world, which makes them mad even more because there's nothing they can take from who you are. It makes them uncomfortable. See, what they should learn, the people around us who get upset like that, is, what we want them to learn at that point is, don't take your clues about who you are just from me. Like, go and do it somewhere else. Why is it necessary for you to put all this anger and aggressiveness towards me? Like, do it somewhere else. Why don't you just leave me alone? This is what we always ask ourselves when we get into these situations. We wonder and we think, yeah, we have to mean something to that person, otherwise they would just let us go. But it's not that easy. They don't know why they're being that angry, and they don't know what to do in order to change that. Like, you need to be conscious about those things, and you need to do it in your own pace. Like, we often expect other people to like have this huge awakening from today till tomorrow, and it's not possible because there's so much, like, all those years I've thought about these things and I've concerned myself with these things. Like, how is somebody else supposed to do that just by meeting me and having it like that? And that's just one part of reality. Like, I'm pretty sure they have other parts that are just as valuable and important and so on that I don't have such access to as they have. That's just how it is. But I think it's a huge mistake to try to be an extension of others because, as I said, you're in a way putting control over them. You feel like you're responsible for their happiness. You're never responsible for other people's happiness in a way. And the sooner you understand that, the easier life will be, and the more you'll see how the people around you change in a way that you want. Like, I've told you a lot of times, like how it was my father, that I kind of like grew up with this, and my father was always he had some issues that he had to go through and work through, and all my life I kind of like didn't want to say anything to him. I stayed on, like, in a distance in a way, and I tried to like be that person that he wants me to be. And of course I didn't succeed in that, because there's no way I can completely know what that other person wants me to be. Like, I can be really good at it, but at some point it's just like, I don't want to be, let's say you have a person and you want them to feel, that person feels weak, and you feel like, okay, I'm gonna step back and I'm just gonna make myself a little smaller, and I want that person to feel strong. That person can sense that you're doing this out of your own volition. You're not doing it because that person is forcing you to get small. They can sense that. You have to know, people sense that. If it's not conscious, then, subconsciously or whatever it is, they feel it on some level, that they're not the reason why you feel small. So they don't feel big. They even feel like they have to prove more and more because you're doing it out of your own control and so on. And that's disrespectful in a way, because you're not giving them your full power, because you're saying, well, you're not strong enough to handle it. That's what you're pretty much saying. And once I started to say, well, okay, they are strong enough to handle that, and how I say with my father, every time I say, no, I don't like this. People get a feeling of who they are, of who you are, and you being more authentic, and it allows them to be more authentic and to be more of themselves. And this also is uncomfortable in the beginning, but in contrast to the first scenario where I told you that we just go deeper and deeper and become more of who they want us to be, once you allowed yourself to be yourself around them and to tell them what you don't like but what they like, and all those, you express those differences, they're trusting you more. There's this it's solid, and there's so much respect in that, and self-love, because you, by loving yourself, by allowing yourself to be that person that you want to be, you kind of give others permission to do that for themselves. It just happens. It's just what happens. If you see somebody like that, that's what you do. That's why you see so many, if people are more conscious and talk about those things, we all kind of want to listen to that, and we want to absorb more of that, because it really allows us to be more in line of who we are, because that's like the mirror. We see that person mirroring something, and or we project something that we can mirror through that, and it's on such a level that allows us to get on a higher level, which is more pure, more conscious, more of having control of our own life. And so having this negative effect on people is something that you can minimize by being as authentic as possible, but also knowing that people have to go through pain and through all this turmoil if they want to get to a better place. And so it does happen that some people will react strongly towards you, and with time we learn to navigate that and see it as something positive, because by them being that way, they kind of learn to find their own groove and find their own authenticity from their perspective, but on a higher level. But this can only happen if you stop being their mirror. Stop being when I say their mirror, I mean stop being an extension of themselves. Stop trying to, this is their life and I'm just going to be a part of it. No. You take something out of that world, you say something out of that world, and then you kind of combine it, and you allow yourself to feel as positive as possible by your own volition. You just, the one day you can be completely into business and politics, and the other day you can go and lay in the grass, and the third day you can go and have a picnic with your grandma, and the other day you can go to a party and be the biggest party animal ever. All those things you can do in order to feel good. And especially for INFJs, introverts, and I think a lot of people who are interested in these kind of videos, this is the main course, to kind of allow ourselves to feel different things, that we don't feel just because I feel so in love right now or so heartbroken right now, and I enjoy this feeling that I can feel like this, or that I, feeling that depth of emotion. Don't feel bad that the next day you're thinking about gummy bears all day. No, that's completely right. You're not a bad person because you can let go of emotions just because other people cannot. They maybe cannot, but they can do other things. Because they cannot let go of emotions, they can create an awesome life through their perception and through the things they have to live with. And because the way you perceive life is always going to be you. this, you change and so on, but the way how it works and so on, it's yours, and nobody will ever see that, ever. In that way, you can see that for yourself. So you have to stick to that and make your life better for yourself, and through that, all those things change. Like I see now I so often say to people, well, I don't feel like doing this. No, that's not how it's go. Or I say, yeah, but the last, like when people, friends kind of like get upset with me for something I did, and the last months I've been so passive or so absent and so on, and then I'd say like, well, I feel much better about myself the last months. Like I have like much better relationships, I'm much more content, I'm much more happy, everything is great, and all those things come out of me without me even thinking about it. And also telling people, no, I don't feel like doing this. And both those things would have been things that I would have said, well, I couldn't do that back then because that would make them feel bad. That would make them feel like they don't have something. But I have it. I have it. I have this happiness. I have this passion. I have everything I want. Like I meet people, or I used to meet people who like felt, oh, if I make like that much more, then I'll be rich, or then people will love me and I will be so popular and so on. And I see how they're acting out of lack. I see how they want to have something which I feel I have. And I never wanted to tell people, listen, I have it. And when I say I have it, I don't mean like I have the money or I have the popularity or I have that, but that feeling that they're aiming to, that they're saying that they're not allowing themselves until they reach something. Like I'm feeling that. I'm allowing myself to feel that right now. So I don't need to reach something in order to allow myself to feel that, because I have it right now. And that's something I completely neglected forever because I didn't want other people to feel bad. One of the ways, because I felt their pain. But the more you allow yourself to feel that way, it becomes of who you are. You don't even realize it. And then you don't feel other people's pain so much because you express your truth. But they feel their pain. They feel their pain, and that pain allows them to change when they see you. When they see that you're not letting anybody around you cut in on your happiness. You can feel happy right now. You don't need to reach something to feel happy. Every emotion that you wish to feel, you can feel it right now. You don't need a partner, you don't need a house, you don't need this. Everything you want to feel like right now. Like I listened to this video from Bentinho Massaro this morning. I've been listening to his stuff like the last weeks. It's he's awesome. So if you want to go listen, just type it in Bentinho Massaro on YouTube. But he also said, like today, when when you want to feel in love, it's not like you want that person, you want that feeling. And you can feel that way without having that person around you. That feeling is a part of you. You want to be in love. You can be in love with life. You can be in love with yourself, with all those things, and there's no arrogance in it. Like having a partner, having friendships, having family is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But you're not dependent on this in order to be happy. And once you do that, then things just kind of like fall into place. So don't be afraid to express what you have, what you think other people are lacking. From a mental kind of space, from I have everything. I have, like I feel like the last 5-6 years, I've always felt like I have enough money. And I see people around me who have even more money than me and feel like they don't have it and so on. And I feel like I have everything I need. Everything I want, I can have. Everything I want to feel, I can feel now. Like all those things, they come together. And once you do that, it just like accelerates, because it's very often a restriction we put in on ourselves, because we can have everything we want. If you want to have more color in our life, it's not the money we need. If we want to have more joy in our life and listen to music, it's not, you don't need anything. You have everything already. And to change that mindset and to express that towards other people, makes a huge difference in the way you perceive life and the way people perceive life in your surroundings. Like, I see how people change, and I'm very glad that it has some effect on them, and I intend to keep doing this for the rest of my life, because this is my perception of life and what I love to do and how I feel most alive, and I want you to find that within yourself as well. So there's enough for everybody. There's full abundance, there's full of everything, and we just need to allow ourselves to be more of who we are, and to understand that we're all different, and that in a lot of ways we project things onto others which are actually parts of us, so that we don't allow in ourselves. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked this video. It gave you some conclusions, and like it if click the like button if you like the video, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me, and talk to you next time. Bye. In order to just flush those negative feelings out, because what happens is when we numb out, you are outside of everything as well, because each one of us has such a complete different understanding of life.